In math, when we talk about a factor, what do we mean? So for us as mathematicians, a factor is something that's being multiplied. In other areas, it might mean something different. But in math, factor refers to multiplication. And so when we talk about factoring integers, what we mean is we're taking something and splitting it up. We're splitting it up into smaller pieces that multiply together to give us the original thing we were looking at. So splitting something into factors. So for example, if I look at the number 6, 6 equals 2 times 3. 2 times 3. So I've factored 6 into 2 times 3. This is a factorization of 6. Okay? If I take the number 12, I could split this up a couple different ways. I could split it up as 2 times 6 if I want. I could also factor it as 3 times 4. These are both factorizations of 12. And actually, if I think about it, I could even go a step farther. So this 2 times 6, this is also something I could write as 2 times 2 times 3, because I know that looking at the line above, 6 is 2 times 3. So I can replace that 6 by 2 times 3. Or I could replace this 4 by 2 times 2. 3 times 2 times 2. Because 4 is 2 times 2. And now I see that there's something interesting going on here. 2 times 2 times 3 or 3 times 2 times 2. Those are the same thing. We've rearranged the numbers, but when we're multiplying, we know the commutative property says we can switch the order without switching the product. So these multiply out to 12. And so this is the real sort of final factorization of 12. This 2 times 2 times 3, we can't split 2 up into 2 different numbers except for 1 and 2. We could write 2 as 1 times 2 or 2 times 1, but we can't really write it as a whole number times a whole number unless one of those numbers is 1. And same thing for 3. 3 is 1 times 3 or 3 times 1. But I can't write 3 as 2 times another whole number. I can't write 3 as 5 times a whole number. So 2 and 3 are what we call prime numbers. And so when we're factoring whole numbers, once we factor it down into prime pieces, then we're done. So we can only go as far as primes and we can't factor any farther than that. So if we're factoring 30, 30 would be, so we could split 30 up as 15 times 2, and then 15 we can split that up as 3 times 5. So 30 equals 2 times 3 times 5. And I could look at something like 8. So 8 is 2 times 4. And 4 is 2 times 2. So 8, its prime factorization would be 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 to the third power if we like.